Hello, and welcome to the live stream of consciousness. My name is Michael Zinn. This is my happy place every week. It is April 20th. You know what that means? It's 420. Happy 420. You made it. Can you believe how fast the freaking year is going, that it's already the fourth month of 2023? Like, what happened to the last 3 years? Like, it was just all a whoosh, a blur. It's pretty crazy. But anyway, what is happening? Welcome to the live stream of consciousness. We are here today to talk to a special friend of mine. I'm super excited. Somebody who I went to college with, and I'm going to introduce her in just a minute. I want to talk about my day. I want to give a special shout out to Karen Garvey. I actually got to see Karen in person today. She had called me to video an interview for her that somebody's shooting a documentary. I don't know if I can even say much more than that, but she needed somebody to help her out, and I was glad to do it. And I got to see her today, and actually I'm going to get to see her again because we didn't get to finish because it was just, and it went well. So thank you, Karen Garvey, for bringing me back into your physical presence, and shout out to you. And I also want to shout out to a sponsor. I don't think many people know this, but I have a company with my brother called Smarter Sign, and we've been around for a while, and I never push it so much. And I said, hey, why don't I use Smarter Sign as a sponsor for the show? So Smarter Sign, I'm going to just pop this video up here for a second and talk about it. There's no sound to it, but I'm gonna pop it up, and I'm going to talk about it. So Smarter Sign is a digital menu board platform. So what does that mean? Well, like the digital menu boards that you see at restaurants and stuff, we built a platform on the computer that you log into on your browser. It's super, super easy to use. And it's just basically like a visual interface once you get into your computer, where you can just drag and drop. I don't know if you guys have used Canva or anything like that. These programs that make it so easy to build your own signs. And if you have a retail place, it's great, and super easy to use. And it's like there's all these templates that we've built, and you can just really create menu boards and all sorts of cool stuff. You schedule it to your screens and you publish it, and you're done. And that's all I want to say about Smarter Sign. They're sponsoring this episode, let's just say, theoretically, right? Because it's my company, but they put me here. So anyway, let's get to it. It's 420. I'm just feeling a little nutty today. So my special guest, as I said, is a friend who I actually went to Hartford Art School with. Somebody who we were friends in art school. It was a small part of a bigger university, the art school. So I think everybody kind of knew each other, and there were different groups of people, and our groups kind of crossed paths, and we hung out near and there. We weren't super close, but we reconnected through social media. I don't know if it was through this show or just through Facebook, but we reconnected. We started talking, and she eventually became a fan of the show, and I asked her to come on months ago, and she's been planning this for months. She's a really awesome human. It's going to be a great conversation, like it always is. So I just want to welcome to the show conceptual artist and conscientious thinker, Leslie Slavin. What's happening?
Hello.
Welcome
It's
to the
really
show.
happening.
You're here. Oh my God, you made it.
Thank you so much for having me. This is so exciting.
Oh, I'm so happy that you're here, and I'm beyond elated that you're excited. That's so cool.
I'm better friends with you now than probably any of the people that I went to art school with.
That's sweet of you to say. Welcome, Leslie. Julie is saying welcome, Leslie.
Actually,
And I'm excited to talk to you, man. We've definitely struck up a cool friendship. True is here. Welcome, True. Oh, I'm so excited, True. I think maybe we'll talk about True in a little bit.
hi Lily.
And then little Ninja Kitty is saying welcome as well. So you are definitely welcome here. Um, I want to talk about who you are, what you do, what the heck's in your brain, and all of that stuff. But we've got we've got some things we got to take care of first. And this is coming, and I'm learning how to cut these all up into little sound bites. So I'm gonna say the question, and you're gonna give me the answer just right off the top of your head. Okay? You ready for this one? This is the live stream of consciousness, and so what does that mean? What is consciousness?
Do you have a favorite answer already?
I love every single answer that I've ever
Every
gotten,
said no matter what?
no matter what.
I mean, I would imagine people talk about this already, but, I guess I understand consciousness to be awareness.
Okay.
So it's about awareness. Like, what are we conscious of? What are we aware of?
Mhm, 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 mhm.
And it is a wide spectrum.
Okay. No, no. Listen, that's kind of like a dictionary definition of the word, right? Like what is and
Well,
that's
in
the
the
question. What is
conceptual
consciousness?
world and down those little rabbit holes, it takes on a whole nother
Oh yeah.
meaning.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And there's a lot of different layers to it. You know what I mean? I mean, there's even variations of the word, right? Subconscious is like I've never even asked that. What is subconsciousness? You know what I mean? But no, no, that's a great answer. I love it. See that? I
You
love.
ever had surgery
Have I ever had surgery? I have. I actually have had hernia surgery twice.
where they put you under?
Yes.
So, like, for me, because 'cause I've had surgery a couple times, it's like, I'm, like, as conscious as I can possibly be. I'm gonna stay conscious, and then I wake up again, and I was completely unconscious,
Oh,
right? So the part of me thinks, like, there is an unconscious nature as well. It might be induced.
you know what? That
However, I thought, what if death is like that and it is just nothing?
wow.
So
You just really you blew my mind. See that? That's awesome because I never thought of that. I have gone under anesthesia, and it's like you go away and you come back, and it's like you don't even know what happened in between.
and all kinds of crazy things happen to your body, and you're like,
Right,
"I don't even know what
and
happened."
you weren't necessarily. I mean, if I think about it, I don't think I can remember it being in a dream state, where, like, I'd be like, "Okay, I was in a dream state, and now I get it." My consciousness was at least somewhere else hanging out, but it's like, "Wait, where the hell was my consciousness?" That's really interesting, and then Julie
It's
says,
kind
"And
of
then you
like,
wake up." Yeah, it's
and
like
then you wake up, you know?
yeah, you know what? That's real. Leslie, you just brought up something that nobody's ever brought up on this show is like,
And if you
what is unconsciousness?
and if you wanna go down the subconscious rabbit hole, let me know too, because I love that one as well.
I love that. That's awesome. Oh my God, what a great one. I love it. Bing, bing. We just got a good sound bite. Nice. All right. So that was easy, right? Were
No.
you, no? I know you were like nervous for that question, but you did it great. It's like awesome. Yeah, Ninja Kitty says it feels like you've been asleep 2 minutes. Exactly. It's like you're counting backwards, 100, 99, 98. No, I don't feel a thing. 97. What happened?
Anytime I'm like, "Stay together, Leslie, just stay here," and then you're like, and then there's, like, body parts missing, and you're like, "What just happened?"
The live stream of unconsciousness. Yes. Tonight is a special episode of the live stream of unconsciousness. All right. Well, this next one's going to be easy, I think, hopefully. I want you
There's
to
another
share
one?
with. There's another one.
Oh, yeah, I
Um,
don't know if I do.
um, the the idea is that, and I think that we're on the same page with that, about this, is that, there are things that are real about reality that weren't part of, like, growing up and, like, mainstream learning, and even kind of family learning, unless you had like some psychic mediums in your family, which you may have. But was there a moment or a story that you can remember that you realized that like, wow, everything I thought was real, there's like other layers to it and something else out there?
I think I was probably born with that knowing.
Okay, and you know what? I usually actually add that on. I'm like, or was it something that you were born with? Because, go ahead. Well, explain what you mean. Was there a moment that you realized that you were born with this, something that maybe other people weren't born with, or maybe people don't realize that everybody's born with, to
You know,
put it
I
that way?
think I was really lucky and fortunate in a lot of ways that I grew up with a lot of unconditional love. So there
Mm.
wasn't a lot of stress in my life growing up,
Mhm, mhm,
and
mhm,
I was
mhm,
able to stay innocent for a very, very long time,
mhm,
probably
mhm,
more than most
mhm,
humans ever,
mhm,
especially now.
mhm,
And I think the benefit of that was the way that my mind worked,
mhm,
and maybe as a child, I had some difficulties with some of the things that we were supposed to be doing, and it forced
mhm,
me to have to learn things differently.
mhm, mhm.
And I do remember at a very young age looking at my aging grandparents and asking, "Why are they letting that happen?"
I remember you told me that. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so there's that part of me was kind of there a long time.
Mhm,
There were
mhm,
psychic dreams about things would happen,
mhm,
but in my
mhm.
world, I never felt anything because I was just living in my innocence.
Well, so you say that, like, your friends were starting to do things that you kind of felt pressured to do that made you feel
I'm
uncomfortable.
talking about reading.
I'm talking about reading. Oh my
And
goodness.
memorizing stuff.
Okay, okay,
Yeah, no, thank you.
okay. So even traditional things that
Yeah.
they were trying to impose
I
on
remember
you.
the Garden of Eden, and nothing you're teaching me is more important than that. I don't know what you
Okay,
people are talking about,
okay,
but
okay. So
it's
that
kind
was
of funny. But then when I was older, innocence lost very quickly.
mhm, mhm,
I, got interested kind of more into, like, man's inhumanity to man in a way that, like,
mhm,
shook
mhm,
me pretty badly.
mhm, mhm,
And then it
mhm,
was very profound and very complete, the education, maybe
mhm,
even to the fact that then at that point, I was able to feel some things that I probably never would have felt in my innocence,
mhm, mhm,
you know,
mhm,
maybe other people suffering and
mhm,
torture like that.
mhm, mhm.
And so I think that came home with me when I went to the concentration camps. So
Okay.
that's what, like, got me involved more, and I just can't even
Impactful,
stand
yeah.
this about myself, but it's like, of all the realms to be included in, the psychic realm, the one that, like, probably is more like the dark side conversations, you know, and I
Mhm,
believe in the balance of 3, right? So you've got the yin and the yang and the qi, and so a lot of people just think it's one or the other, but there's actually 3. And that
okay.
3rd one is the realm of life,
Yeah, isn't chi like life force energy? Like, I mean,
because a lot of
yeah,
people, they'll call it, you know, God, or they'll call it, the life force or the chi or whatever, but
right.
the consciousness that goes with that, the
Mhm.
understanding of breathing as long as you wanna be breathing, for as many years as you wanna be breathing,
Right.
that kinda stuff started seeping in.
Okay.
And that's what made it really weird, because it was kind of like I could see how people were keeping us from understanding our ability to stay alive as long as
Mhm,
we want. Like, it's our
mhm.
birthright, and we're missing out on that information because of all this dark stuff that's going on. So that's why it's hard to hang out with me, because I like to talk about it and nobody
Right,
else.
but okay, so you're saying people, you mean like, society and the educational system in
You know,
general?
it runs deep. You know,
Yeah,
I rise above a little bit of the nature of violence, right?
okay.
So, you know
What do
how,
you
like, if somebody gets upset enough that they wanna be violent and to express that, right? So, I always
right.
think of artists as kind of being the opposite, like, we have to still feel all those feelings, but we don't get to kill anybody, we have to, like, make art instead.
Well, I think that's a much better productive way to spend that energy and those thoughts, you know what I mean? It's like, I think that's a good choice, no? Well, it's
I did
interesting.
I even answer your question? I don't know.
No, we're totally way past the question. But you did, like we're into the conversation, and you're bringing up that there's this yin and this yang, and then there's this chi, the third thing. So the chi, what animates the yin and the yang? How does that work? Explain to me what your.
Well, because I learned it through Jinshindo and acupressure and acupuncture and all that kind of study of it, the way it works with the meridians in the body.
Mhm.
So my brain works about understanding it that way,
Okay.
mostly. The yin and the yang kind of being more like character traits, passive,
Okay.
aggressive, this,
Right,
that,
right,
or the other,
okay.
the yin and the
Right, right,
yang.
right.
But the chi is that life force. So in the body, you can have too much yin and too much yang. They
Okay.
don't balance each other out. There's this third aspect that comes in is the balance. So people are always like balanced on land, but now we need to be balanced on water, right? Because the consciousness of land and land consciousness versus water consciousness, two different types of things, I guess,
Right,
is what
right.
I'm
Well, because
thinking.
the water is ever changing and the land is static. It's.
And like if we're going to find balance, now we have to find balance with a lot of other types of energies that maybe weren't around when we were in art school. And, like,
Okay, hold on a second. I put my water out of reach.
where are you going?
So I'm still here. So,
Cheers.
cheers. So you're saying, uh, you were talking about the energies being out of balance. I mean,
Or imbalance, you know what I mean? Like if we balance our energy, this is what I believe. If we balance our energy healthy, right?
mhm,
If our
mhm.
balance is healthy, then we rise above certain frequencies. And those
Mhm.
frequencies actually can't touch that health. They
Okay,
don't they
okay,
don't sustain themselves up into those types of frequencies.
okay. No, that makes sense.
Like as a group, as like united we stand people, like if we all got together and just said, okay, truce, like I'm literally calling for a
Right.
truce right
Yeah,
now.
yeah, yeah. Well, I
Take
mean,
a deep breath, okay? Because this shit can suck because it's on purpose. But
right.
ultimately, how we manage it is up to us.
Sure. And I mean, it's also up to each one of us how we perceive that, right? So for me, wow, you just have me totally thinking of all the things. And this actually was part of the conversation with Karen today. Is for me, it's like we're all part of the same being. You know what I mean? Like we're
Same way,
all the same being, the same
same being.
force,
Okay.
the same existence,
Mind.
right? The mind, right? Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. We're all part of the same mind, and the idea that you and me are separate is a human thing, right? So to me, I get it because I was brought up that way, and you and me are separate. You're in a totally different place on a different screen, right? But there's a part of me that feels like I get that we're the same. You know what I mean? We're part of the same thing, you know what I mean? We're part of the same universe, you know what I mean? And listen, I understand. That's why I'm difficult to hang out with, because I don't see a you. I see the we and in you and me and what we are, and that's what we are, you know what I mean? I'm a me, yeah, and you're a you, but either way, we're a we. Even if I don't want to see it that way, we're a we. So I don't know. Anyway,
Well,
I get.
sometimes I think about it this way. Maybe this will help you sort it out a little bit. But Garden of Eden, the fifth dimension, right? The vibration, nobody's like tripping, right? Everything is telepathic. So
Mhm,
all language is telepathic, which means everybody knows everything.
mhm, mhm.
So there are no secrets, there's no ego, there's no identity, there's nothing
Right,
like that, which is why we fight so hard to not go there. Because you got to
right,
give that all up.
right.
But you give up worrying about somebody, being jealous of you enough to hurt you or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's just a different kind of atmosphere with a different kind of law system. There's like a different physical law, you know.
Right.
And in the garden with the telepathic, then we are all one
Right,
because we
exactly.
there's no life that anyone doesn't know, right? Everyone knows
Right,
everything.
right,
Here somehow we get distorted and distracted and we forget a little bit.
right,
So
because
we
in the
see ourselves as separate.
yeah, and in the Garden of Eden, there were still different aspects of that same consciousness, right? Adam and Eve were different aspects of the same consciousness, but they didn't necessarily see themselves as different aspects until they ate the apple, right? Or
or until religion wrote about them. I
So
what?
so it goes, right, right, I was gonna say, or so it goes,
I'm not even
but
sure I should say what I wanna say out loud, so
no,
with
no,
this
no, but let's just call it the illusion of being separate, right? At some point, Adam and Eve thought that they were separate, and that's when it all that went to shit.
I mean,
Right?
being really careful about how you think for yourself and what you learn about telepathic communication, because that is what it is,
Mhm,
versus what you've been taught and
mhm,
how it structures the mind to think certain ways that can block out other thoughts,
right,
right? So if we're not thinking that we can breathe as long as we want, then we're not thinking about a society and or a consciousness of how to work together within those
sure,
realms.
sure.
I would imagine that some of that ancient stuff that we've seen is maybe
Well, that's what I was just gonna
part of
that's
that,
exactly
maybe.
where I was gonna go with it. It was like, we are definitely different beings, than we were at some point in history because we can see that, we can see there were I don't know. I feel like society has gone through a lot of technological like highs and then all of a sudden boom, civilization is gone and then it has to rebuild itself and we're kind of right at that point right now, we're
Over and over and over
yeah,
again.
over and
A
over and
lot of
over again.
people believe in the great resets,
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
and those are
Absolutely.
fun rabbit holes if you ask me, because they answer a lot of questions.
No, they do. Listen, I don't think anyone could deny that something's freaking going on. You know what I mean? Like, no, it doesn't
Plenty of people
matter.
can deny it, yeah, I know.
Anyone who's been alive longer than 10 years knows that something's going on. You know what I mean? It's just it's been that long. Maybe someone who's that's what's scary. Someone who's 10 years old right now will have no understanding about how the world was different, and all of that is being changed right now. Well, the whole shape of that is people are saying it's being threatened, and I guess that's a way of looking at it. I certainly there are parts of what's happening that are seem scary and I would call threatening, but maybe it's just me trying to put a positive spin on it, but shit's got to change, you know what I mean? So I mean, even if it's got to crumble down to the ground before it gets rebuilt up, that's what's got to happen, you know what I mean? It's like, it doesn't mean it's going to be easy, but
We will find out what we're capable of as
yeah,
humans, that is
we
for sure.
certainly will. We certainly will. And, I'm confident in the way you know, I, I'm thinking about it now. I'm like, man, am I still going to love people when they're chasing me with guns? Because, I'll try to love everybody, but, you know, someone's chasing me with a gun, I'm going to find it hard to be like, yeah, humanity is all right, man. We're going to be good. But,
It's a
listen,
it's a huge question, kill or
no,
be
it
killed.
really is. It really is. And we got to take the show in a definitely different direction. So, let's let's start talking about you and tell me first. Let's
Well, the
start.
fun thing about what you were saying earlier about leaving the message behind, a little bit about our consciousness. Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
we
yeah.
grew up in a world that did not have social media or the internet.
Hmm.
I've driven across the country many times and had to pull over and find a payphone if I wanted to talk to somebody.
Right.
Right away, that mentality is so different than what's
Mm.
going on right
Oh
now.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's
Big time.
completely lost,
It's
except for
yeah.
what's in my memory, right? So then parents, they do their best to pass it down to their children, right? And these kinds of things is like how the next generation learns. I've heard stories of people having to take a 40-year break, I guess, to
The,
kind of
the
get the
legend of the phone booth.
information back on page.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
if it's gonna be anybody, it's gonna be the new great artists because 'cause
Mhm.
they're all awake. Some of them are, like, in their early 20s. They
Yeah,
completely know what's going on. They make
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
most incredible work. They
yeah.
know how to use social media. They know how to make
Totally.
friends. They know how to have fans. Their messages are being heard
Yeah,
from a
yeah,
lot
yeah.
of depth.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
And Billy says, and we knew how to use a map. Yeah, yeah. Totally. No, things are way different, and I actually have had Bowen Bramwell's an artist who is like this, like a visionary artist. His art is like that style, and he's got all sorts of messages in his art, and he's like you said, he's exactly who you described. But let's talk about you. Art by Amazing is let me put that up. I have your banners and all of that information right here. Hold on a second. Where did I put that? I know I see that there it is. So here's where people can find all of your stuff. But I'm going to go through it with you. First of all, just explain to everybody what is, well, first, should I go with conceptual artist first or conscientious observer first? Let's go with
I mean, they kind of work together a little
yeah,
bit,
okay.
you
So
know.
tell us what that moniker means.
I think the conscientious observer came definitely through the healing arts school and being observant in a different kind of way,
Mhm,
especially with people's bodies and their connection in their mind and stuff like that. And
mhm,
then being a photographer, of course, obviously
mhm,
that's the
mhm.
best kind of observer there is. So what can I say?
I think you could definitely say more than that. Hold on, I'm going to put this. I did make this cool layout where I can.
Because, you gotta have an eye to be a good photographer and be able to see things and notice things and wanna see things, and how can I make this look the best?
Right,
And
right,
so then
right.
my observer page came from, again, back to, how can we learn how to heal our bodies and live in them and stuff like that. So the whole observing part all really came from that. I
Mhm,
also do observe things with my eyes and have conversations with other people that are looking at the exact same thing, and literally we don't see the same thing. So at one point,
that's interesting.
it's almost like it doesn't even matter what I'm observing. And then the conceptual artist part came from, I think, because in art school I studied photography, and it became evidently clear that photography was going to become something else. And also, it wasn't going to allow me to express myself the way that I wanted to. So I had to figure out how to change that in my resume type of thing and explain myself. And then as a conceptual artist, when I was in art school, I was not understanding what that was. And I
Mhm,
remember seeing like three boulders in the middle of the gallery, and everyone's like, what's going on here? And then there'd be like a painting, and it'd be like all gray. And everyone's like, what's going on here?
mhm, mhm,
But then
mhm.
all of a sudden, like, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm a conceptual thinker. Like, all of a sudden, I could understand that I could read between the lines better than I could read the lines.
Wow,
And so
interesting.
then it just really started to fall into place about how can I formulate my art in a way that can explain itself, because I
Mhm,
know I'm not going to want to explain it. So then it
mhm,
just became about having one kind of boundary. I could do anything I wanted.
mhm.
I just needed one boundary, and that was that everything got done in a series of 13.
Okay,
So
okay.
and
So
all my concepts, they're all concepts. Like all my art is about concepts like fame or stuff, dying, of course, like, living and all those kinds of fun things. What's possible. This
okay,
girl
so
here, she's drawing with her
let's take a
non-dominant
look.
hand.
Let's take a look at I see I didn't want to jump into
Thanks if
chess
anyone's even noticed.
necessarily right away, but I guess painting like what would be good to I guess you said you did everything in 13, so let's talk about this. Is this like I wanted to try to go back further first before I jumped into now. So talk about this particular project. What's the idea behind this?
Those are the Russian stacking dolls.
Mhm, mhm,
They kinda always have a place in a lot of artists' lives, and just having the different kind of designs and the freedom to be able to try different types of techniques. I love the mid-century modern art, so I use that in the background of a lot of different things. And
mhm, mhm,
then Tchotchke, of course, makes her little debut in there as well, and
mhm, mhm.
part of my logo, and just ways of just playing with the paint and the markers and whatever. And if somebody wants a big show, then we can make a big show.
That's what the conceptual thing, right?
It's
Gotcha.
just kind of like concepts. And I think
Mhm.
that was something that I learned quick because of, you know, our great photography teacher. Did you get to take classes with Ellen Carey?
I took one class with Ellen Carey. Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
I got
Yeah.
to work with her every year. And
I
I
remember
love
that
her
actually. Yeah.
24 Polaroids. Did you ever see any of those?
Yep. Yep. Yep.
And so I got one for graduation from my awesome roommate. And so she had to pull that out of a show. And so it was like, I wouldn't have been able to take that home with me if Ellen wasn't able to pull that out of a show. So then Alan had a replacement piece, so then there's replacement pieces as well.
Oh, wow. Julie's saying Russian dolls. Yes. Do you have a deck? Julie's asking, do you have a deck of these? So how do you produce these? Are the I guess the pieces that we were just looking at, these are paintings, correct? These are,
Yeah.
and they're 13 by 13 as far as size, or is just
No,
in a group of
no,
13?
different sizes. Just
Different size.
13 pieces in the series, and then sometimes those 13 will go 13 as well. So I don't know
Gotcha.
how far down does that scroll down underneath all that?
I can go down. Hold on.
Oh, send a message. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, send a message.
I'm working with this website. I'm trying to figure it out a little better. I can sell stuff on there, so that's nice. And then I can show the stuff, and you could write whatever you want, and people could see who you are and what you're doing.
Yeah, you need to be out there. So let's talk about
Oh, there's my sleeping bag series. Remember when I was saying that I got all my spirituality from that thing right there? So those are like pictures of all the different quotes.
these are different quotes that
This
that
is like
meant
this is
something to
what
you.
I was raised with.
Okay. No man is free who is not master of himself. Forgiveness is the fragrance the violet sheds on the heel that has crushed it. Oh, these are great. And what is the medium here? This is like, are these on cloth? These look like they're
It
on.
was my sleeping bag. My grandmother gave it to me.
Oh, this was the actual sleeping bag
Yep,
that you
and
had?
yep, and I actually still have it. So
Oh my goodness.
sometimes those little fragments end up in my artwork.
Wow, this was a sleeping bag and it had all these things over it. That's so you were literally surrounded by this stuff as you would sleep.
It was the one thing I tried to memorize.
That's so crazy. So that's amazing what an effect it had on you. That's
Totally,
I
yeah.
had I had no idea. I had never even seen this.
You
This
get
looks
out of life what you decide to settle for.
yeah.
Like, what else are you talking about, people?
These are
Like,
important. These are important. And these actually, Julie's saying, do you have a deck of these? These would make good cards, you know. Julie's asking who made it. She's curious about the sleeping bag. Do you
I mean,
remember?
we are talking the last century, plenty of decades ago.
Yeah,
My
there's
sister
another
got the
bag
cool
too.
one. She got the hippie one with the peace signs and the flowers, and I was so mad. But turns out
No, this one's much.
I
Yeah, this
got,
one is
I
so
got
much
the
cooler.
education. This
This
one
one's
here is one of my favorites. Look at that one.
yeah, these are amazing. This is great. And like I said, it's crazy because some of the things we've talked about here on the show about the consciousness being in words, right? And the words having energy and power and stuff. And like I said, you slept wrapped in this. That's so powerful. That's just
And then I
amazing.
would take it to sleepovers, right? And then we would all have a class.
Oh my God, this is great. Wow, this is really cool project. It really is. Wow, these are all amazing. That's great. And so, did you
Thanks for
ever have a
showing
show
me.
with this, or these are just you just put these out like on social media, or?
Well, that's the thing. Like at that point, and this is my thing, right? So we're as photographers, we're really aware of copyright law.
Mhm,
And
mhm,
something happened with social media and copyright law that I'm not quite like I can't figure out at all. And
mhm,
I
mhm.
have heard of people using fabrics like of the New York rail system and trying to sell stuff and getting trouble for copyright laws.
Really?
So, it hasn't been 75 years since that sleeping bag's been made, but
You
it'd be
probably.
hard to know where it
I
came from, that's for sure.
I think you'd get away with it, or if not, I mean, it's really a good foundation. You could probably recreate these, by yourself. You know what I mean? Like,
I think this particular project, I probably found some app that you could create, like, a cool frame around it
right, right,
and then
right,
put a
right,
little logo in it or something, I don't know.
right, right. Julie's asking, do you add to it? I think these are just pictures of the
And then some
sleeping.
of those apps could change all the colors, so I'm pretty sure there's probably, some videos
Oh
of
yeah,
all
there's
the
some you
things
can make
changing
them
colors
into
in the
visual, yeah,
background.
little video gifs or something. Yeah, totally. That's great. I think those are
It's
cool.
kinda fun. I mean, this social
Those are
media
very
stuff is a
cool.
whole 'nother world.
So where would be the best place to start with Chachki? I want you to tell the story of who
Well,
and
the
what.
one here where she's floating a little bit and then you can see the little yeah, that one. If you click on
Yeah, Julie makes quilts. She's saying
I love
we can
quilting.
quilt it. Yeah.
Um, so tchotchke originally was just like left-handed drawing. I had gone into I studied all those different healing modalities, and one of the things that I had done was a rebirthing session. And so we had to take a break, and she had me draw a self-portrait with my non-dominant hand. And I don't know what happened. That moment just changed my life because I was like, oh my God, I love this.
That's
And
so is
so
that
then I started carrying
this
a journal
early on?
around with me, and then I would write things with my non-dominant hand
Mhm,
about what was
mhm,
either going on. And so then it was like a weird communication that was going on. And so then she started to emerge way later. And it was kind of more about like being able to make her hair swirly and have fun with swirls because I love swirls, and
mhm, mhm.
just have all these different kinds of moods, and some of the different hairs mean different things, and some of the different positions mean different things.
Okay.
But I get to do whatever I want, so that's the fun part right there.
So was this the I was trying to find, like, what was the time sequence? Was this like this is a period of more like close up of the face, right?
Like,
And
I
then
call those, like, more like, thank you, portraits, like, those are her portraits,
I gotcha. So was
I'm a
that
portrait photographer, exactly, so we gotta
that
take
was
portraits.
not the first form of her? She was like the first form was
So
more
the
like this.
one on the right of that, yeah,
Yeah.
all these things, these are more like the philosophy, and these have been around for a very long time. So, like, click, you are mortal. Get it, right? You click, you're immortal, because now I have a picture of you, you can last forever.
Right. Okay. Okay. That's awesome. That I totally. So
And that position that she's in, you'll see along the way is actually the hashtag done the diameter pose, and it's usually like a universe on her, like, and that's about the spectrum that we all have. And then when we kind of start to realize our spectrum starts to come around into like a circle and it just becomes three-dimensional.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so
So
that's
there's a
that
lot
whole
of meaning
philosophy.
to there's a lot of meaning to it. So what is this here at the bottom? Is that
That's
that
the copyright hashtag art by amazing symbol.
copyright hashtag art by amazing? Okay, cool. And
So these are all like the fun ones. So Float Baby, that came from, I think that's over 20 years old because
wow.
um I can't even say why, but it's like flow, get it, be in the float, baby,
Mhm,
you
mhm,
know.
mhm, mhm, mhm.
And then I promise to love you forever no matter what.
Mhm, mhm.
That's kind of part of the philosophy, like unconditional love, everybody, no matter what, full forgiveness, full gratitude, full whatever positive vibes everyone can experience together, that kind of thing.
Beautiful. Now, let me ask you a question. Is this representational of anybody specifically? I mean, you're saying this is a self-portrait. This is
I think that obviously hair is, I believe, is an extension of the nervous system. I'm
uh-huh.
of that philosophy.
Okay.
So I grew up with long hair. I've had it short. I've lost all my hair. It's long now. So hair was always kind of part of my life. I like it. The other cultures, these people with their hair, because I think that there is something. Thank you. There is stuff about our hair. So tchotchke's a little bit about the hair.
Okay, okay. You know what? I hadn't even thought of that. And the truth of the matter is, I mean, you knew me back in school, and I had a ponytail, I had long hair,
Yep.
like
And you got
mm,
great hair, a great head of hair.
mostly most of my life, and it was only recently that I cut it short, and it was because not exactly what you're saying the way you believe it, but I definitely when I would get my hair cut short in the past and I would walk past a mirror, I'd be like, that doesn't feel right. That doesn't look like me. That doesn't look like I want to feel like I look like. And so I would grow it back.
Do you feel
And
like you lost a sensitivity and then you could grow it back? Like a certain level of sense, like now that your hair's short, if you grow it out a log, see if you could be
yeah,
sensitive to things.
I might grow it back. I might, but I really at least one day, the last time I cut it, I was like, oh wow, that finally feels right. Like it just something happened, and whatever. It is what it is. Julie says hers has rainbows. Julie
Comes
must
and goes. Exactly.
exactly. It comes and
Can be
goes.
decorated many different
Exactly. And
ways.
you know what? I am fortunate. I have a good head of hair. I know plenty of people who don't. So it's I'm fortunate. But anyway, let's move on. Let's just go through a couple of these. I think these are great. I think, and so explain the non-dominant hand thing. It was just like an assignment, but it just like charged you up, like you just did it, and you were just like, oh my god, what just happened? Like,
I think what really happened was, like, all of a sudden I remember being young and learning how to use a pencil for the first time. And,
it
you know,
brought
maybe
back that
the
sensation.
pressure to formulate the letters properly, but wanting to formulate them, but not wanting to make any mistakes or whatever, like, all that just came through, like, "You're gonna suck at this, it's your non-dominant hand, like, just be bad," right? And then it was like, "You're a kid again."
Right.
So, it was just fun. I mean, it looks like a four-year-old drew a lot of these drawings,
Does it
but,
feel does it
you
feel like
know,
channeling at all? Like you're not in control? Like,
I definitely have to let it go. I'm not
mhm,
that good of a painter, so the painting part is different because even with my dominant hand, I can't paint as well as she needs to be expressed swirly
mhm.
wise, you know?
Right. Right.
So the different mediums, she expresses herself differently as well.
Okay, that's cool. And
Yeah.
now I know this equation also means something here. Is there a better shot of that, or
That's the conceptual equation for eternal gratitude.
this right here?
Yep.
I don't know. Can you see the pointer when I pointed it? Yes, you can.
Yeah.
Okay. So explain that.
Thank you to the fifth power, fifth dimension, right? So we're rising above the frequency of violence so we can live in peace and harmony.
Hmm.
And then that's to the fifth power times, right? The magic of the seen and the unseen. Call it what you want. I don't care as long as you love it. And then there's like the other parentheses times like infinity.
Times infinity. Oh my god, I love it. That's awesome. I think there's one of just that somewhere. But that's awesome. And I again I just feel like so much of that sleeping bag comes through in your artwork, just like feeling like this, there's so much hope and what are the other words, like just all very high frequency thoughts and feelings, come through the words, and it's so simple. It's not like it's the unexpected artwork, almost like oh my god, that's artwork, look at that, that's cool, oh wow, um
I grew up with a lot of Stoics,
mhm, mhm,
so what was important in a weird way was wanting to survive and live more than treat yourself to things that weren't gonna keep you alive as long, if that made any sense. So there was a sense of
mhm,
reality, like, we know that there's weird things that go on, but we also have the opportunity and the possibility to create whatever life that we want. So I can
mhm,
look at some of this stuff and think that this is whatever's happening, we have the power to create better. So that's
mhm,
why I'm not scared to look at it because I need to know how much power I actually really need to create better.
mhm, mhm, mhm.
You know what I mean?
Totally. I'm just looking at the artwork while you're talking, so and I'm actually thinking, wow, I feel like this one just makes me feel, and I hate when people do this to me, so forgive me. But I feel like this would make a great like coloring book, like a little,
I
little.
have a coloring book.
Oh, you do? Oh,
I
wow.
do,
Can I
and
can I
these pictures are actually the pictures for the next one. So thank you,
Oh,
because yeah, you're gonna see
so
it in this.
bam. All right. I hit it on the head. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, this I feel like people would get relaxation from, coloring this in
You
and
know why? Because I think Chachi's a lot of open spaces. A lot of
yeah,
the coloring you get is just like these little things all the time, but,
yeah.
my arm wants to move when I'm coloring and, so you gotta move your arm to color her. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. This is great. This is great.
Yeah, that was through Amazon. That was kind of fun. I don't know. I don't have to own any. They print them up for you if you want one, you can go get it, but
So these canvases are from Amazon?
no, the coloring book is.
Oh, the coloring book is
Yeah,
from
you can
Amazon.
find
All
the
right.
link on the website, but it's,
Okay.
I didn't even bring one in here. I should have brought one, but,
Yeah,
it was kind of fun to make a coloring book. I had to have someone help
right.
me make it because
So what's going on in this one?
so
Explain
that's
that.
the diameter pose. So she's got, once your spectrum comes around and you're fully in balance, the yin yang is three-dimensional like a sphere.
Awesome.
And chi, don't forget about the
And
chi.
don't forget about the chi, the yin and the yang and the chi. You got 3 now instead of a duality, it's triality.
He also does like to tell people what to do, which of course isn't anything that anybody likes to be told what to do, but she's always given suggestions.
Yeah, I wouldn't say she's telling you what to do. She's just making a nice suggestion. She's saying, "Hey, what would it feel like if you just did this?" You know, that's I love it. I think that's great. So, can you tell us what you were saying earlier? Now I'm starting to see what you meant. That the hair, each hairstyle meant something different. So these are different moods of tchotchke, or
A little bit, I think she's representing the elements, right? That
okay,
fire one is a specific message.
uh-huh.
Some of the ones
Fire.
oh, here's my coloring book if you wanna
Oh,
see it. Ta-da!
you have a fan. Julie says she wants one. Oh, there you go. You want?
Then these are, like, some of the pictures on the back.
I'll share where to get the coloring book. Is it on the website? Can we order it on
Yeah,
the website?
yeah.
Cool. I
So,
will
it's
share
just,
that as well.
you know,
Yeah, these are great,
anybody
and
can have a coloring book. How cool is that?
that's awesome. No, it's listen, it's you know what, and don't not anybody can have a coloring book. Only people that want to and decide that they want to have a coloring book will have a coloring book. You know what I mean? Uh, and look at that perfect ordering. See, I love it. Jilly's the best. She like what she endorses all of my guests. I love it. So
You got a
we'll
lot of supportive people around you, Michael.
it's great. I really do appreciate it.
Bringing the love, bringing the vibration
As
up even more.
I talk into my cup.
Every Thursday night.
You know what? Again, it's such a. We were talking about this. It's such a um, commitment to yourself. You know what I mean? It's like, I wish I could exercise as much as I do the live stream of consciousness.
Just
That
take
would,
it, you find your balance, that's what I'm
yeah,
saying.
that would be great. True says the best coloring book. Uh, and Julie says coloring is therapeutic. Absolutely. That's why I thought of that with, especially once I saw that piece with the daisies or the flowers, I was just like, wow, this would make such a cool coloring
You
book.
know what coloring pencils I like the most are the ones with the multicolors in them.
Oh wow. So
Yeah,
as
those are
the
I
color
use those a
changes
lot.
as you color. Here's another one with the daisies. That's cool. I
Yeah.
don't know. Are those not, I wouldn't, I'm just saying daisies. I'm not. I hope I'm
She's got a couple different flowers she likes the most, but I think those fall into the one of them apparently, I don't know if it's gonna stay in the repertoire. I have to consider it a little bit,
right.
but,
Oh, that's
the
nice too.
daisies are easy. And they never my left hand is always kind of doing,
Right. Right.
so
These are wild. So
it was
let's
fun. Thanks for showing off my art. I don't
yeah,
know.
no, listen, I think it's listen, I truly believe that part of the show is because every single person I talk to is interesting in their own way, and I think they deserve a chance to talk to me first of all, and a chance for other people to see them and just connect and that's how Jilly and I even connected. She was a fan of the show and she was local, so she actually came to Janice's Reiki session and had a Reiki session with Janice, and she's in this place of learning all of the things that you slept in your sleeping bag. She's
Well,
learning all.
she knows about healing the body too then,
Yeah,
and the
absolutely,
energies and the
absolutely,
frequencies and moving blocks and letting people breathe better,
absolutely, absolutely.
helping
She's
them,
act
I guess.
she's actually also the number one windsurfer, female windsurfer on Long Island.
Oh my god, I tried that once.
How
That is
awesome
not
is
an
that?
easy sport at all.
Amazing. Shout out to Jilly. Cool. So you also have Art by Amazing is your website, artbyamazing.com, but you also have an Instagram, Art by Amazing. These are cool. What are these, like metallic stickers that you
That's
made?
I mean, so much fun at the Dollar Tree, but it's like this glitter paper with black over it, and you take a little sharp piece of wood and you can scrape off the black, and then that's what you get,
Oh wow. I thought, okay, cool.
so
Okay.
I was trying to, like, shake it so you could see the different see the shimmer of the
Right,
I don't
right,
know
right.
what it is about glitter, I love it, shimmer, I love it, bling, I love it.
That's
And you
cool.
remember those
So,
irons that were all like that was like, oh,
right.
I just love those so much. I
That's
can't
cool.
wait till she
I love that you take your tchotchke, you take tchotchke and try her in all different mediums. You know what I mean? She, like you said, she expresses herself through all these different ways. I think that's very cool.
Thank you. It's kind of fun.
Um, so, and this is the Art by Amazing site. So some of your photography is there.
Yep. I
I
also realized that there is another Leslie Slavin photography page, but I haven't posted on it for so long. But I think most of my photographs are up
I
there.
gotcha. I gotcha. And this is a nice representation of
Yeah, that's
the
the
oh
pieces
wow,
that you just looked at.
all the pieces together, and
Yeah.
then
And now they're on one board, so it's one piece of art now. It's on one board.
very cool.
Whatever. I don't even, I could make art all day long and do nothing else, but I also have to do other things. So it's
Yeah.
just finding the balance of it
Yeah.
all.
So, and then Tchotchke has her own page called Meet Tchotchke
Me,
on
Chomsky. I
Instagram.
keep so
So if you're a Tchotchke fan, you could specialize in just Tchotchke, or you can see Leslie's other art by Amazing. So let's just go back to this real quick. Where would we find the calendar here? The coloring book. Is that somewhere to
It's a
order on
good
here? Or
question. I think you have to scroll to the top. It might be under things that you can buy at the bottom of that. I'm not
things?
sure. Arts and treasures for sale, that one.
Ah, I see. Arts and treasures for sale.
And then at
Ah.
the very bottom, I think, is a link to the Amazon, or there's some stickers. Oh,
Oh.
there's the stickers for
Oh,
my
eyepiece for
logo.
president. We didn't even
I
talk
got a
about that
couple
one.
buttons.
Right. So this is what I was talking about, where you had the equation. I love this. This is the what is this the equation for? Explain this one again. That
It's
what are you talking?
the conceptual equation for eternal gratitude.
The
I actually
I
had it
love
trademarked.
this.
I know.
This is amazing. The conceptual equation for eternal gratitude. Oh my God. Yeah, if you don't freaking trademark this, I'm gonna beat the crap out of you.
No, it's
Uh,
already in, but I think,
yeah.
like, that would be fun for merchandise and can have its own little life of its own, and I wanted to go I wanna go into NFTs. Have you been talking about that?
A little bit. I started to explore them, and then suddenly they were just like NFTs are dead, and
It's hard to know what's going on, but I'm still paying attention because I think that that world is really fun.
you know what? For I liked it because for a minute, because I was like, oh, there's this thing. Chasing money was never my thing, and I know that's my problem. And I don't even want to. Sorry, universe. I don't mean to say that out loud, but whatever. I'm abundant. I'm rich. I have everything. Um, sorry, I'm not
That's what
making
it
fun of you, universe. I'm not making fun of you. And I felt like it was pulling me into that. Like for a minute, I felt like I was kind of chasing something, like
there's a
and
little
that
FOMO that goes on with that.
yeah, so that turned me off, and
Yeah,
I kind of gave it up. I did. I think I shared it on this platform. I did a website called Custom Unique NFTs, and it was combining the idea of doing a portrait session with somebody, and then part of that portrait session was they would get an NFT of the
excellent idea.
final product. So I think that might hold some value and might hold something in the
Yeah,
future for me. But so I didn't see the coloring book, but you're saying it's on here somewhere, right?
there it is.
Oh, oh, this is the coloring book. Okay,
Yeah.
I was looking for a picture of a coloring book. So this is the
Well,
meat
that's the
tchotchke.
coloring book,
There you
see?
go. Well, I didn't imagine it was going to be colored in already.
Multicolored pencils.
It's already colored in, but this is the coloring book. So there you go on Amazon. You can get it on
The
artbyamazing.com.
the third eye.
Oh, look at that. That's awesome. Very sweet. All right. So let's go back to
Now
you and
this
then.
one is an actual painting.
Oh, that's cool. Hold on. Let me see if I can make it. There
I
you
don't know
go.
if you can show it. That one's an actual painting.
So you painted that instead of drawing
Yeah,
that.
the woman who helped me
Awesome.
make the coloring book, she turned that into a line drawing for me.
Oh, that's awesome.
I was just trying to figure out how all this stuff works. I mean, it's amazing to me, and I can't believe it, but, how
Well,
fun is
again,
that?
I mean, I kind of feel like okay, Chachki is coming to life through you, and like you said, you even expressed it like she was, expressing herself through different mediums, right? Line drawings and markers and this and that, and then even the painting. But she certainly has a consistency to herself, right? You can certainly
I'm not
tell.
gonna be mad if someone, I'm gonna get someone else to paint my paintings, I think, because I want them to be really, really good. And I know I have someone in mind. I was like, I just think you should be painting my paintings. I don't why am I gonna paint them? I want them to be
Well, listen, you know what? If there's something about tchotchke, and let me put us back together. If there's something about tchotchke that you can express to someone that allows somebody else to express tchotchke in different mediums, then I don't think that's
like a
invalid. That's
collaboration or something,
Yeah,
because
that's
there's so
totally
many
valid.
different artists, and a lot of artists are collaborating with people on the internet, and,
Yeah.
she's so easy to collaborate with, so I
Well,
think, hopefully there'll be some of that fun too.
I think you do you hang out with a lot of like metaphysical people who are kind of into tarot and different things that are connected to energy.
I mean, the whole process of the healing arts and, understanding that, the astrology,
Mhm.
like ancient stuff. Like I just try to like find out about all of as much as I can. Do
Mhm.
I hang out with people anymore? Is that what you're really asking?
I guess in a way I was at. I mean, if you don't, yeah, I think that there's probably a lot of more than you think, Leslie. I think there's a lot of like-minded people.
Oh no, I know that. I'm just like hiding in my
You
cave. What
just
are you
hide,
talking
yeah.
about?
Well, I mean, look at all that awesome artwork behind you. I mean, I feel like you have been able to express so much, and it's interesting since I did that Strange and Wonderful show. I feel like the way that I can even talk about it is Chachki has been able to do so much, you know what I mean? Like express herself through you, and I think you need to get the freak out of your studio, out of your basement, out of your house. And
Just gotta bring the love to the table
you
and
know, I actually
yeah.
saw, I don't know if she's here or maybe she'll watch the replay. Daniel Napoli from
No
Harvard Art
way.
School, she made a comment. You had posted the streaming thing, and she made a comment that you should have your own show. And she couldn't wait to see what you would have to say. And it's unfortunate because it's already been an hour. And
I know.
so
You
so
said it
we
would go by fast.
we got to kind of, I don't know, I didn't mean to hit that. We got to kind of wrap it up, but
I did,
I
yeah.
know that besides your artwork, I know that you are uh the conscientious observer part of you. You're a very powerful thinker about you know the way things are right now in the world, outside of you know the beliefs that you have. The beliefs that you have are based on love and are based on us being part of the same mind. Obviously we've talked about that stuff. So it's really tough for somebody like people like us who have those beliefs to look outside. Sometimes it's like you do want to hide inside your house and close the curtains and not look outside. But we got to join together. I think we got to find each other. And I've been
That's what the
blessed with.
internet is for.
Yeah, yeah, that exactly that, and that's what this
And if
platform is for.
anybody's got an off-grid compound going and they're looking for extras, let me know. I'm ready for that as
Oh,
well.
that's great. I didn't even think of using this as a platform to find a safe compound for eventually for whatever
I
might
can I
might or
can keep I can keep my keep. I can earn my keep.
might. I love it. I love it. Oh, and you know what? We didn't even also get to talk about True. I wanted to introduce True, and I
I
wanted to
didn't ask her about
I I
that.
wanted to hear you say something really lovely because like I said to you earlier, the love and the energy that I witnessed was just, you know, really
I think the one thing
true. It
that
was
I could
really
say
true. I think.
about parenting
Yeah.
and being a mother
Yeah.
and being a woman
Okay.
and having another human being come out of your body, there's something that happens, and being able to have that be part of my life with this other human being, it's changed everything about who I was, but I think it's what's really made me aware of all this, like, how do we protect our children?
Hmm.
And that's the most important thing that we need to be doing right now, so
Right. Right.
I think that's the greatest blessing of it all,
Yep.
besides the fact that she's awesome.
You know, I feel really blessed to just have been in the presence of the two of you together, just saying hello and hugging each other and being there. And I was thinking of this off air after I saw that you guys, in my experience, I said, wow, Leslie had no idea that what the name that she picked for her daughter was just she I'm getting emotional even thinking about it. You really like, pulled your own future out of that. Like she really became your truth, and
And
that's
hopefully the
amazing.
truth for the whole world. Like that's
Hopefully, hey, listen, I'd love to learn more about True, and maybe she's a good guest for the live stream of consciousness. Maybe she should be on the show.
Gen Z.
Gen Z, look, you got me crying now. Oh man. Uh, yeah, it
I'll
was just.
send the invitation. I'm pretty sure she's watching right
Oh,
now.
well, true. I don't know anything much more about you than what I've seen, and also who your mom is, and I know what she thinks. So, if you want to come on the show, you are totally welcome. And she's tearing up, so much love. Yeah, me too, me too. So she said we're hilarious. She was having fun. Thank you. She loves Art by Amazing. I do too.
That's great.
Leslie, you are amazing. I'm so glad that we were able to reconnect. And
Thanks for pulling me out of my cave.
yeah, it was really good to have you on the show. And you're totally welcome back. We can talk about some more controversial stuff and some more passionate stuff. It's listen, the person that you are when we're talking about that stuff, you admittedly are like, am I all right, am I freaking you out, you get very, very passionate about it. And I mean, I know for me, I'm very open, so I can totally deal with it. But the person that you were during this interview when we were talking about this stuff is also amazingly beautiful. So thank you for showing
All
this
right.
side of
Thanks for
yourself.
letting me show that
Yeah.
side of myself too.
Yeah, thank you for taking a shower and all of that stuff.
Super fun. What a blast.
I'll have to get you to take another shower, so you'll be there. And
Thanks for watching, everybody.
yeah, Ninja
Thank
saying
you.
thank you. And Julie saying she would love to see True also. So I'm gonna put you backstage. I'm gonna wipe my eyes, and don't go anywhere. I want to talk
Right
to
on.
you
Go to.
before I go to bed. And we'll see you soon. All right, Les.
All right.
Oh man. Whew. My eyes, they're all moist. I don't know what happened. um yeah, I'm excited. True, I would love to learn more about who True is. She's Gen Z, and uh what do they call them, indigo children, the people who are aware, I'm sure. uh if Leslie is any indication of what she's passed on to her daughter and her genes, I think we're in for a good guess with True. So I'm going to talk to Leslie about bringing True on, and I'm going to play my outro for you. I'm going to dry my eyes. Next week, does anybody know who I've got on next week? Let me take a quick look. I hate going into my show not remembering who I've got the next week, and then not being able to give them props. I've got some good guests coming up. I'm really excited about what's going on the live stream. Oh, I've got Joseph Da, excellent psychic medium. One of Janice's friends. He was on the Unique Peace podcast, and he was amazing. So Joseph Da is next week. More of the Long Island spiritual community folks. I will see you guys next week. I see people saying True saying she would love that, and another amazing show. Thank you, Ninja, for always being there. I will talk to you in a minute. True, peace out. See you guys next week.